Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Poker Buzz. I'm Sean Green. Well, people are still buzzing about the reinstated World Series of Poker Tournament of Champions. The voting system and the public qualifiers are creating quite a bit of chatter, both good and bad. Regarding the former, people are saying that voters are stupid for getting Joe Schmo bracelet winner into the top 50. I'll let you guys speculate about who may fall into that category of vote getters. But it's the latter point that is generating the most controversy, the public qualifiers. People are asking how you can have a so-called tournament of champions with two nobodies in the field. On the other hand, a lot of people are seeing this as an amazing opportunity for the average poker player to live the dream, play with poker legends, and possibly win tons of money. So who's to complain? We've got possibly the two most relevant people on the phone to answer some burning questions regarding the Tournament of Champions. First, we spoke with Poker Pro and WPT host Mike Sexton, who is both the founder of the TOC and a previous winner. Then we snagged Seth Palansky, the communications director of the World Series of Poker. All right, thanks for joining us today, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Well, the Tournament of Champions has kind of been your brainchild from the beginning, is that right?
Well, I did found and create the original Tournament of Champions, yes.
And so what was your thought process behind creating it? Why did you think that the World Series of Poker needed such an event?
Well, I created the original Tournament of Champions because I thought poker needed an event where players couldn't just come and buy in. I wanted players to have to earn their way in. And my concept was for the top players to play multiple games to determine the ultimate champion. So that's how I created the original Tournament of Champions, which was multiple games. Then, unfortunately, I ran it for 3 years. It was a great event. All the players loved it. I still think it was the classiest event in poker history. But unfortunately, we never made any money with it. And this was before the TV boom, of course. And, then, so I sort of dissipated it at the time. And then later, the World Series of Poker started their own Tournament of Champions event. And it started out as an invitation event of just one player, tables each. And then in 2006, there were 30 players in it. I happened to win that tournament. So I was the defending TOC champion from the World Series of Poker. And unfortunately, they couldn't get sponsorship the next few years to host it anymore, so I've never had an opportunity to defend my title. But now they've revived it. As you know, 27 players are going to play in a $1 million pre-roll event to determine a new tournament of champions. And I'm very happy that they've revived it, and I hope that it's an annual event.
Well, the good news for you is that they disbanded it in 2006 right after you won, so you've been the reigning champion for 3 years, basically.
Yeah, that's true, and I've been anxious to defend my title. I'm going to get a chance this year, so I'm happy about that.
Did you get any flack when you won the 2006 edition because it's kind of been your brainchild?
No, I didn't. Actually, all the players, I think, were really pretty happy that I won it because they felt that, they know how much work I put in the original Tournament of Champions, so it seemed like only fitting justice a little bit that I came out on top of that event. It was a lot of fun. It was a great event for me, and I was honored to win it.
Well, there are two particularly interesting components to the field this year. The first is that there's the fan voting system for 20 of the entrants, and then there are those two spots that we've been told will be open to the public qualification. What are your thoughts on those in particular, and did you have any hand in deciding on them?
No, I was contacted by the people from Harris that they were going to revive it, that I had an exemption, and how they were going to go about creating an all-star event for poker, so to speak, and televise it on ESPN. And 20 of those players are going to be selected like they do in sports, like baseball and the NBA and basketball, where the fans select who they want to see play in the All-Star game, so to speak. So what's happened now is 20 players are going to be voted upon, see who gets the most votes that the fans want to see play in the Tournament of Champions at the World Series of Poker. And certainly it's going to create a lot of buzz for the event, and I think anytime you create buzz for any televised event, it's good for it. So poker will be no exception. What I like most about it is that be qualified to be voted upon is that you have to have had a World Series of Poker win, at least one bracelet under your belt, to get on that vote list. So I think that was a good idea on their part. I'm for that. And I know there's a lot of great young Internet superstars out there and a lot of high-stakes cash game players. But some of them have yet to win a World Series of Poker bracelet, and I like the idea that you've had to win a bracelet to even get voted on.
And so what do you think about the two public qualifiers? Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think it kind of takes away from the point of the tournament?
Well, I think it's a good idea in that it's it's going to create a lot of interest among people to try to qualify. And certainly if you had an online site, you want to bring a lot of traffic to your site and create buzz for your event. And certainly this is going to do it as much or more than anything that they're going to do. So for an opportunity for someone someplace to get a chance to sit down with, 25 of the best, some of the best poker players in the world for sure, it's going to be a great opportunity for them to play in $1 million free roll tournament. So, I understand that. I have no problems with it because they're putting up the $1 million, and I think the people that put up the money for you to play can dictate the rules. And I think those that get to play should be grateful that they have an opportunity to play for that kind of money and not about the format or the structure. So I do think that they can do what they want to because they're funding the event.
Well, thank you for being here today with us, Seth. So the first question I have, just to jump right into it, is why did the World Series of Poker decide to suspend the Tournament of Champions from 2007 to 2009, and why is it back now?
Well, it just simply was a format in its old existence that really wasn't sustainable as a annual model for us, and so we spent the past 2 years really rethinking it and reworking it and figuring out a way that we can make this an annual event as part of the World Series of Poker, and I think we've done that with the new concept we unveiled.
Okay, and you were talking about the new model, and one of the components of the new model is the fact that some non-bracelet holders can qualify with 2 spots that you're opening to the public. Why did you decide to go that route?
Well, I mean, we're putting up $1 million out of our pockets to put into this event, and one of the reasons to do that is to have a couple sponsored exemptions. It's a sort of standard procedure that anyone running a tournament does, has a set of qualifiers. I mean, I think the NBC Heads Up event that just completed had 6 or 8 of those. So we think it's a fair number and something that we love the idea of anyone can participate and will be seated next to 25 bracelet holders.
Okay. Well, and what do you say to people who claim that that kind of goes against the point of the event, it being a Tournament of Champions?
I don't see that at all, actually. Tournament of Champions, the poker's different than other sports and everything else. I mean, what's great about poker is you can sit next to an 11-time bracelet holder, and you can become the next world champion as well. So that's what makes our sport great, and I think there's nothing wrong when you're creating a tournament special as this and you're putting in $1 million. It doesn't cost any player anything to enter, that it's a very fair and suitable way to conduct the tournament.
Okay. Well, and can you tell us why you guys decided on the voting system instead of the previous system that you had in place?
Well, we just think it was, we've always heard the fans' perspective and their willingness and how they would make a television show work and what they would want to see, etc. So we've really just taken that concept. Ty Stewart in our office is very creative and focused on the fan community and thought this would be a good way to give them the chance to really be the executive producer of an ESPN telecast and determine who they want to see.
Okay. Well, and the final question I have for you is, who did you vote for?
I have not cast my vote yet. I'm one of those that likes to take in as much information as I can before I make my declarations. And since voting's open through June 15th on WSOP.com, I feel like I got some time to really make sure I vote properly.
But you've got to have a few front runners.
It's really not yet at this point.
Okay, you don't have to tell us.
Been too busy trying to get the thing off the ground and worrying about my votes at this point. But we're very pleased. I think we're up to 160,000 or so votes to this point, and it's been a great success already. But people are going to have to continue to vote throughout this process if they want to see certain players in it, because it's a very hotly contested contest at this point.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for getting on the phone with us today, Seth.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, that's it for this week's Poker Buzz. Thanks for watching, and catch us again next week here on Card Player TV.